and welcome to another teacher talk session tonight. Tonight we are going to have our 111th session with different educator and from Turkey, and she is Nezaket Özgirin and from Sabancı University, and she is English language teacher at Sabancı University School of Languages, and she is a coordinator of teacher education and development through online learning, again at Sabancı University. And we are going to talk lots of different things with her. Let me invite her again. I have already invited her, but I'm waiting for her to accept my invitation. Because these things can happen. I'm waiting for her to join the live session. Yes, there she is. Let me invite her again. I have already invited. Maybe you can try to join the session, Nezaket hocam. I have sent you the invitation, but it looks you haven't accepted yet. Let me invite again. I have invited. Is it maybe you can send me an invitation, Nezaket hocam, to join the session? Because it doesn't let me to do it. Let me try again. I'll try one more time. Huh. I have sent the invitation again. Still waiting. Ah, yes. Finally.
I'm sorry, I couldn't
No.
connect from my laptop.
So are you trying to connect from your laptop?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Okay, you cannot connect it. You need to connect it through your mobile phone. Just now we were talking.
Okay. I heard you actually. I was there. Thank you so much.
Okay. No problem. It's anyway. Finally, we are here. Nezaket hocam, it's great to see you here. I'm really happy. And before starting our live sessions, I would like to say thank you very much, really, for accepting my invitation to Teacher Talks. It's really great honor to have you tonight.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Volkan. I was looking forward to this. Yeah.
We are all looking forward to listening to you tonight, hocam. I'm sure that you are going to share lots of fruitful information with us. If you are ready, we can start.
Yes, of course.
Okay, I know about you, but maybe our listeners and our guests also would like to know about you. So can you tell us about yourself, please, and a bit about your experiences too?
Okay. I've been teaching English for about 40 years now.
Wow.
For a long time. I can just say that I started teaching after university because my high school teacher invited me. They needed an English language teacher. I wasn't planning to be an English language teacher. Then I just went there for a week. Then my first lesson was with first graders. And it was horrible because we weren't allowed to in teaching, and that was the university education that taught us. And there was 7-year-old kids crying, parents waiting outside, and they were running around, and I couldn't speak in Turkish. And it was such a chaotic situation. Then I thought it was the end of my teaching, but here I am.
Here you are. It's great. It's a wonderful moment for you. I think that you
Yeah,
still remember. Thank you, Nezaket Hocam.
the most challenging moment. I
I
had such a terrible moment, so I'm so happy with this job actually.
I see. Thank you. Thank you. Nezaket Hocam, let's move to another question. What was or were your turning point or points in your own education?
I can say that that was, I mean, my first day was a turning point, challenge accepted, and then I taught at my college, Yükseliş Koleji, for 4 years, and my last year was with seventh year graders, seventh years, and they were very interesting, were difficult to reach, and one of them told me that people who are older than 27 years old should deal with their problems rather than their students' problems.
Wow.
Was no, I'm not good. It's not happening. It's not the right way. I should do something else. And then I started developmental activities more. Then I started teaching at Lang.T University. I can say that that sentence was the turning point for me.
I see. It's very interesting. Thank you for sharing, Hocam. Thank you. Your turning point with us. And Nezaket Hocam, I know that you have been teaching for a long time and you're still doing it. And I'm sure that you have, tried and you have applied lots of methodologies, lots of strategies into your classes. And probably you have a kind of a philosophy about teaching. So what is it? What is your philosophy of teaching?
My philosophy of teaching, that's an interesting question, actually. I don't know if it changes all the time, but I think the most important one is understanding the needs of the learners and reaching them in the most appropriate way. And I can also say that education and everything changes with the technological improvements, and I think job changes a lot. So I can say that developing my skills to reach the students in this era is another philosophy. So I keep learning, improving myself, trying to find the best methods for them, trying to find the best motivational tools for them. So I think I become a lifelong learner. I don't know when I will stop, but this is an amazing job. Yeah.
It's great. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I hope that we're not gonna stop learning it, because if I always say this one, if we stop learning, we stop teaching. So it means that when we stop learning, probably we stop teaching too.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Hocam. Thank you. And I would like to move another question, and this is related with the university that you are working right now, which is Sabancı University, if it's okay. So can you tell us about, and I know that the English education is really good and very effective at that university, if I'm not wrong. So can you tell us about the English education at Sabancı University School of Languages, and what do you do differently when compared to other universities, or what makes your university special than other universities? Can you tell us about it?
I can tell you about two major areas and difference, maybe. And the first one is it isn't compulsory to attend classes in Sabancı University. It is believed that university students are independent learners and they can take their decisions themselves, so they can take their own responsibility for learning, so they don't fail in the number of classes. But it is strongly recommended to attend classes regularly for formative assessment. So we believe that it's not only learning a language, but it is improving academic skills. So students have to attend classes regularly so that they can complete the circle. So they can learn how to write, and they write, they get feedback on it, they have tutorials, then they respond to that, they write again. So it's an ongoing process to improve academic skills. So it's strongly recommended to attend classes. And yes, another difference is probably Sabancı promotes extracurricular activities and community projects. So students come to school, they take part in community projects, civic involvement projects. And so that means they can go to different schools and teach them. They can, nursing homes, they can visit them. And in this way, they learn different needs in society. And they also improve their communication skills for that. And for example, projects are very important, not only for community, but for academic life as well.
I see.
So even in School of Languages, they can do projects on how to become a lifelong learner, or how to solve a local or global problem. So they work with others in teams, collaborate, and find solutions to certain problems. I think I can think of these two right now. But
that's awesome.
yeah,
okay, these are the main things. Would you like to add anything else, or I can move to another question?
I think it is a growing environment. So in my institution, both teachers and learners are encouraged to share their experiences all the time. Reflection is a very important part of growth, and we are in it all the time. So I think I'm so proud of the environment in terms of sharing, caring for each other. So it's a very trustable environment. So that's probably another strength of my school.
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. I just want to ask you another question, Nezaket Hocam. As far as I know that you are the coordinator of SLTeDOL, which is Teacher Education and Development through Online Learning, and I have, attended 2 of your courses, which was one of them was about vocabulary teaching, and another one is about QR code, and they were really perfect. Do you have another plan in the future to provide the teachers another course?
It's a great question, Volkan. We have been working SLTeDOL team, which involves many teachers, my colleagues. We have been working on grammar teaching and learning for more than 3 years because of the pandemic and because of changes in YÖK and other things. We couldn't start. Our aim was to start this year, but hopefully we will run the course next fall and be open to everyone. So can I ask a question to you at this point?
Of course. If it is not difficult, of course.
Both of the courses you've taken, have you benefited from those courses?
Of course. It really, actually, I have learned, especially from the vocabulary teaching, I have learned, the different techniques and different way to transfer the vocab to the students that were really great. And also the layout and the information that you provided about the vocabulary teaching was really useful. And it was not a boring course. I have attended lots of courses, but I can easily say that about the vocabulary, that was one of the best courses that I have attended so far about vocabulary. It was really also, it motivates me, and you were really helpful, and all the teachers were really helpful, and it was a really kind of a guide to us how we, deal with the problems about the vocabulary, and how can we transfer the vocabulary to the students, and how can we teach better, which methodology we can use, what step we should follow. We have all learned it. It was really wonderful. And another course which was about the QR codes, to use the QR codes, that was, until that time, I known about the QR codes, but I had no idea how to apply it and how to, to use it. But after that course, I can easily say that I learned what can we do with the QR codes. We can do lots of things. After the course, I have learned this one. That was also really useful for us. And I still have the documents that you shared with us in my computer. So time to time, I check them if I need, or if I remind something from there, I check them. Thanks a lot. And by the way, you have mentioned you have another plan about the courses. I'm really, really looking forward to attend again.
Uh,
Of course, and I hope we will attend.
Dal has just said that she has also taken both courses. And I'd like to use this opportunity to say, and these courses were very effective because of your contributions. So we learned so much from you, each of you. You were so open. I think you will ask another question about this. We can talk about that later
Sure.
on. But these courses
Sure.
provide an opportunity to come together, to share ideas, to share different kinds of materials, and so they are really useful because of that. I can see the names of some of my students as well. Lovely to see them here.
It's wonderful. By the way, before moving to another question, I would like to remind something to our listeners. If you have any questions to Nezaket Hocam, please write them into the question part. At the bottom, there's a question part. You can write there. If you write any question, you can write the comments. If you have any comments, we can read that. But maybe if you write any questions into the comment part, maybe we can miss it. So in order not to miss it, please write them into the question part so I can divert your questions to Nezaket Hocam during the session. Thank you. Okay, so let's move to another question, if you are ready, if I can. But would you like to say anything else about the courses?
No, thank you so much.
Okay, wonderful. So I can move to other questions. When you, Nezaket Hocam, when you think about your training sessions, I'm sure that you have attended and you have provided lots of training sessions or presentations or etc. What was or were the most interesting situation or situations that you have faced?
I cannot think of a moment, but I can just say that maybe this will help some new teacher trainers. I had stage fright and I was so afraid of speaking in public. And so I really fought with my own fear. And when I did my master's at Cordntr University, which helped me grow a lot, and I really appreciate all the skills I gained there. After I did my master's, I started as a co-TED trainer at Cordntr, and I also did a short course at the British Council for Teacher Trainers. There I investigated what makes a good trainer, teacher trainer. And that was really interesting because I just presented it in my unit in small units, but I was courageous enough to present it at SLTeDOL.
Wow.
And I had more than 100 people in the hall, and it was really very, very difficult. I mean, having eye contact is very important for me. So in order to feel more relaxed, then I could really focus on the presentation, but it was the most difficult presentation for me, the first
For
one.
you, that I see. Thank you very much for sharing, Nezaket Hocam. I'm sure that, and I've been also SLTeDOL, and I think in 2015, which was in Manchester, and that was really wonderful. But I didn't. I just attended. I had no presentation like you. I didn't have any feelings to do it. But maybe in the future. Maybe in the future. Anyways, thank you very much. And let's move to another question. And I'm sure that you know that the language communities are really important for especially the language teachers. So, and there are many language communities like SLTeDOL, like Inget, or another also TESOL. There are lots of communities. So what are the benefits of language communities for ELT teachers? Do you suggest them to become a member of one of them? What do you think?
Yeah, I was just thinking of this. Inget was the first one which initiated teacher education actually, and together with MEP, Milli Eğitim Bakanlığı, and British Council, they organized seminars for English languages all around Turkey. I was involved in its organization and also giving sessions. So I visited many cities for about 10 years, and my colleagues as well. So it was really great to experience, to see different contexts and teachers' needs, and also thinking about their students. We also understood where our students were coming from. So it gave different perspectives. So attending a course will give different perspectives for you. And you will also get lots of support from each other.
I see.
It's most courses are collaborative, so you don't really only get, you also give. That's why they are more effective. And I can also talk about not only English, but I can talk about SLTeD. You know, Deniz Kurtoğlu, who also provides feedback to SLTeDOL courses. She has the SLTeD community. She gives teacher training courses every year. But it is not only for new teachers. They also have an alumni group. So every year, the graduates come together in one of the host universities or schools, and then they share their experiences. Again, I think it's wonderful. This is also our aim, to have a festival, vocabulary festival, or come together and share our experiences. These communities are very useful because we see that we are not alone in this business.
Exactly.
People have the same challenges. They have similar students, and it is power. It empowers everyone. So SLTeDOL is also very successful. I wish we could run more courses. We have lots of courses.
I hope so.
Yeah. So, and also your Creative English website or
the Instagram account, Facebook, and I have Instagram and a Facebook account and a YouTube. Sharing
there, and there are great teachers who are sharing lots of new materials, tools, and experiences. I think they are all very, very useful.
Thank you. Thank you. And there are lots of teacher talk sessions. That this is the 111th one. And a lot of the well-known educators they attended so far, and they every time we talk about different questions, and I'm sure that lots of people get benefit from it. I'm really happy about that they follow it. Okay.
Amazing. Well done to you, Volkan.
Thank you. Thank you very much, hocam. Nezaket hocam, there is a question here. Oh, sorry, not question. They ask, but they deleted. Anyway, let's move to my questions. And I would like to ask you a question, which is really important term, creativity. And this is really important. And especially for language learning also in our classes, we all looking for creativity. It's really important for us. So my question is, what is it? What is creativity for you? Why is it important? And how can we most usefully define creativity for language teaching and learning? Maybe there are 3 questions, but maybe we can go step by step. Yes, hocam.
First of all, I won't really talk about creativity in terms of innovation or creating a new product or idea, but let me dive into the second part of the question.
Sure.
In language education, it is, for me, creating opportunities for learners to come up with authentic and original ideas and to express themselves in a free context in the way they prefer. So they can share their views, ideas in speaking or through poster presentations, in whatever method they prefer. And of course, presenting ideas requires trust. So I think these are the prerequisites of creativity. And also, when they see that their ideas and contributions are important, they don't get to, even if they can't see the outcome. So learning or work are all important aspects of creativity. So have I missed anything? Maybe these are enough. But another aspect is maybe reflection. and self-reflection or getting feedback from others, and being open to feedback. So we can only learn from
I
our
see.
mistakes, not only, but we can learn more from our mistakes. So failing is a wrong word, maybe. We should replace it with, it didn't work this time, but it may work next time. So that's really
Exactly.
important. Trying out again and again. And
Again and
yeah,
again. I see.
this is, yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much, hocam. Thank you. And let's move to another question about creativity again. And how can we explore our own creativity as language teachers? Do you have anything to say about it?
As I said before, reflection is very important. So self-reflection and getting feedback from the students, from the learners, and trying out new ideas. Don't worry about if something works or not. It doesn't matter. You can try it. It may not work once, but it may work the next time. And I think what helped us in Sabancı, we had mini conferences. So our colleagues, for example, once a year for a week, they shared 15-minute presentations on something they investigated or used. And I think they really initiated creativity in our institution. We learned from each other. We tried out different things. And it also created an institutional creativity pool, let's say. Okay, so
I see. That
and maybe another thing is always asking why, what, how. So curiosity.
curiosity.
Yeah.
That's also important for ourselves. I see. Thank you. Thank you, Nezaket hocam. Thank you very much for your answer. Let's move to another one. And another question about, we talk about the creativity and you suggest us really good, nice things about it and useful ideas about it. And about error correction, that's also another really important the term for us, error correction. So what is the importance of error correction in language teaching? And also, can you give us some ways to correct them?
Can I just clarify errors and mistakes? I will use them interchangeably.
Of course, of course.
Just today, with my colleague Nazan, we had a 1 hour meeting on error correction session in the GTL course, grammar teaching training course. So error correction is very important, and it should be done at the right time in the right way. So it's very sensitive, actually. So we can talk about maybe oral error correction and written error correction, because we usually correct errors in productive skills.
Yes.
In oral error correction, we need to be more sensitive, because as we said, it should be an environment where people feel free and express themselves in the best way. So self-correction probably is the best method for that. And for that, learners can be trained. If we don't jump into correction immediately, if they get a few seconds to think, they can correct themselves. And if it doesn't happen, maybe we can invite peer correction using gestures or asking questions like, do you have any idea? How do you think we can improve this? And in written feedback, I ask them what kind of correction they prefer. Do they prefer us, or do they prefer direct correction? And then they usually say they prefer direct correction on their grammar mistakes. But of course, I give lots of positive feedback first. And I also focus on task fulfillment, rhetorical patterns. I mean, the writing as a whole. If it is free writing, I can just focus on the content rather than language. So
I see.
So I usually correct errors when they are ready. We also have tutorials for that, and I may highlight some parts and they can come to the tutorial and having thought about those highlighted parts, and we can talk about them, ways of correcting them.
I see.
And
Mm-hmm.
that works really well with our students is I prepare some materials with their errors, and names are
That's
not
nice.
given there.
Mm-hmm.
Use them quiz or as a revision exercise, and it is much safer to correct errors on a piece of paper rather than focusing on their own errors. So
I understand. It's really,
our,
really, really important that the ways that you mentioned. Mm-hmm.
And of course, audience or our colleagues will hear more about that in the grammar teaching and learning course.
There's there's a question, hocam. Would you like to add anything else?
No, please. Yeah.
Okay. Nilgün hocam is asking, hocam, what do you think about delayed feedback? Although it's my favorite feedback technique for speaking classes, I feel uncomfortable with writing wrong examples on the board.
Delayed feedback. Yeah, I think it is very effective, and we usually don't write examples on the board in oral feedback when we give oral feedback. I think it's a very good idea to encourage the learners to correct themselves if the same mistake is occurring again and again. If it is a common problem, then we can provide a revision lesson on that. So I wouldn't really correct it at that point, but I would prepare another lesson focusing on the most common errors. I don't know if it is enough for Nilgün.
Thank you very much for the answers, and probably she will write an answer to respond for your response, I think. But thank you, hocam. Let's move to another the question. If you I think you have told about everything about the error corrections that you mentioned. Let's move to another question. And my next question is about the adult learners, which you most of the time you deal with them. And when you think about your experiences and the adult students, are they motivated by language learning?
I think adult learners are really motivated, but recently our students have had difficult times because of the pandemic and because of the earthquake, and then having face-to-face or online classes. The students who came to university for the first time, they just say that they don't have any goals because they don't know what will happen next year.
Important.
So I think it is very important to motivate them to help them see why they are at university. What is the purpose for being here? To see the whole picture. They are lost in forest, focusing only on trees now. But when we just talk, I mean, for the first time in my life, a student said that he couldn't see himself in 5 years' time. It was quite disappointing for him. But it's really hard to talk about it now. But we talk about their ambitions, their interests, and what people are doing in that area, and what are some role models we can talk about, so they can really help.
I see.
So helping them see the big picture. For that, we have tutorials, and we have goal setting tutorials, and in those goal setting tutorials, we don't only talk about their goals, but we also come up with some strategies, steps to follow.
To follow them. I understand. Thank you, hocam. Thank you. And Nilgün hocam wrote a response. Thank you, hocam. In SLTA course, we used to write good examples with a green board marker, while the incorrect examples from students' conversation were written in red. Asking for error correction is a kind of great idea, but still writing bad examples sound incorrect to me.
Yeah, But that isn't writing on the board. What I am talking about is in delayed feedback, we prepare a revision lesson or an error correction task. In their exams, they also have error correction for grammar. So this serves two purposes. They don't even realize it is their mistake. And our students somehow are more motivated when there is exam preparation material in class and they know that it is important. So we use it in that way. But I totally agree with Nilgün Hoca. We shouldn't write their mistakes on the board whenever they make that mistake.
I see. Thank you very much, Hocam. There is another question. Yes, here is it from Sibel Hoca. Sibel Hocam asks, what is your perspective on online learning?
Sibel Hocam, it's such a good question. I'm really interested in online teaching and learning. And I also prepared a course on that, but we never had time to run it. And all our colleagues found themselves, thank you, Nilgün, all our colleagues found themselves in online teaching experience all of a sudden. I think that was very, very challenging for them. We were ready because of SLTeDOL courses. I had also taken lots of online courses myself. And I had, for example, course evaluation meetings with SLTeDOL members. They all said, thanks to SLTeDOL, we were more comfortable when we started online teaching. So
I see.
But the question, Sibel Hocam, is interesting because these kids are tired of online courses. They just want to socialize. They want to feel real again. And so that's really important to have face-to-face classes for university students. But for adults, I think online is better and more practical. Yeah.
Definitely. I agree with you. Thank you very much, Hocam, for the answer. Thank you. I was ready to. Thanks to the course by SLTeDOL. I see. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Hocam. All right. So let's move to another. Sorry, what did you say, Hocam?
I said it was great to meet you all.
Thank you. And let's move to another questions. So when you think about the motivating, especially motivating yourself, Hocam, what motivates you to improve yourself as an experienced teacher?
What motivates me? I think I have genuine interest in my students, and I really feel the need to reach them in the best way. So I'm constantly trying to find the best methods to reach them. So each individual is a unique person, and they are different from each other. So it's a challenge all the time to have good communication with them. So they have different personalities, and so we have to really try to understand them, and then we can work together and to achieve the same goal. So this is something very important to myself.
I see.
And what else? What would you say, Volkan, to this question?
To me. Also, I mean, what motivates me, also, you know, I think I have the same answer like you, Hocam, because my students motivates me whenever I go to the classroom and then to see their, you know, the smiling faces, and also their motivation motivates me. If they are motivated, I am also motivated. If they are not motivated, when I go that classes and when I see their faces, like, you know, some of them get bored and some of them like they don't want to do it, and some of them like thinking about what I'm doing here. If I realize it, that demotivates me. But if it's vice versa, it really motivates me, and I want to do lots of things for them. Because, by the way, I have been teaching for a long time for fifth graders, not like fifth graders. So that's also really different types of, you know, the students than adults. really. You know,
Yeah.
you always and every time you need to be energetic in the classroom, really. And if you are not energetic, because you know they are also not energetic in the class, and
Yeah.
how energetic you are in the classrooms, you know that they are also energetic just like you. If when you go to the classroom with like, hello class, and how are you today? Like, are you ready for the lesson today, or something like this with lots of energy, and it
Yeah.
motivates you. And when the students see that motivation in your face, they also get motivated from you,
Yeah.
and also they want to do it lots of things and they want to learn. But if you go to the class, okay, hello guys, how are you today? You look good. Okay, open your books, let's start. If you see like this, it definitely that situation demotivates them and they get bored. And so it's something like this, hocam. Really. And also Sibel hocam says teaching as a two-way of traffic. Definitely hocam. The more motivated our learners are, the more energetic we are. Exactly. Definitely. I totally agree with you, Sibel hocam. Sibel hocam says also something. Evet. I'm waiting for Nezaket hocam. I think hocam, can you hear me? We can't hear you.
Problem. Can you hear me now?
Now, yes. Now we can.
Okay. So it's charging again. Sorry, welcome for this. I
No
would also
problem.
like to share one email I
Sure.
from one of my colleagues on November the 24th, and I would like to read it to you just to
Sure,
show
of course.
you what motivates me. Okay, these messages from students are very important to keep working hard. Okay, this is one of the students 2 years ago, I think. Okay, so Sayın Nezaket Hocam, it will be in Turkish, but I hope
Sure.
everyone in the
No
audience
problem.
speaks Turkish.
We can.
Okay. Nezaket Hocam, uzun zamandır konuşamadık. İşlerin yoğunluğu, hayatın temposu derken sizi çok ihmal ettim, affedin. Bu mail size artık bir öğrenci olmadan attığım ilk mail. Ne mutlu ki geçtiğimiz dönem üniversitemizden mezun oldum. Biliyorum artık yetişkiniz ve kimse fakülte üyelerinin, üniversite hocalarının öğretmenler gününü kutlamıyor. Usulde böyle bir uygulama yok. Nasıl bir usulse hiçbir hocam da o üniversiteye yeni başlayan bu çocukla sizin kadar da ilgilenmedi. Usullerden aykırı davranmak, niyetimiz iyi oldukça alışkanlık olmalı, sizden öğrendim. Sayın Nezaket Hocam, ben üniversitemize geldiğimde kendi fanusumda küçük bir şehirden gelen bir hayli saf, bir o kadar da vakurlu bir memur çocuğuydum. Çok yalnızdım, arkadaşlarıma alışamazdım. Sizinle bir dost gibi dersleştiğimi hatırlıyorum. Bana bir anne gibi sahip çıktığınızda eksik olmayın, ne kadar minnettar olduğumu ya da benim gelişimimde ne kadar katkınız olduğunu tahmin edemezsiniz. Bu sebeple ki Sabancı defterini kapatırken size son kez teşekkür etmek istedim. Benim gibiler, siz öğretmenliğinizi başarısız olmanızda yankılanan bir eko gibi, belki fark etmezsiniz de yarattığınız etki çığ gibi büyür ve siz o tatmin hazzını yaşamasanız da ya da biz vefalı davranıp hatırlatmadıkça gizli kalırız. Almanya'dan kendi kurduğum şirketin ofisinden atıyorsam ve çok çok mutluysam öğretmenler gününüz en çok sizin kutlu olsun. Kendinize çok iyi bakın. Yeah, we were talking motivation. So
exactly.
even getting an email like this once a year or once in 5 years is enough, I think, to feel motivated and to work harder. Yeah.
That's really a great point. I mean, like, it's a really wonderful moment, and I'm sure that when you read it, you become really sensitive, and you really think about the dead time. You think about the dead time, and also you can easily think that yes, I did something good. And the way I teach, the way I touch my students' heart is it's a good something good. You did something
Learners are
good.
amazing. Yeah, they are amazing. Really.
Exactly.
And they're so
Thank you very
lucky
much,
here.
by the way, for sharing this message with us, hocam. Thank you
Thanks
very
to my
much.
students.
Okay, so let's move to another question, if it's okay. And this is very interesting question. I would like to ask you about it. Nezaket hocam, if you could have one superpower to use in the classroom, what would it be and how would it help you?
It's very difficult to find one thing, but maybe I would have a stick to stop the time in the classroom, and then no worries, no thoughts come into that, and we could just enjoy being together,
Mm-hmm.
whatever we are doing, and sharing, creating together. So maybe time is never enough for me, so maybe stopping the time would be the best one.
Okay, it's a nice and interesting one. Stopping the time. It's okay. Thank you very much, hocam.
You're right.
Thank you. And let's move to another the question. How do you or does your school or can a school contribute to society in general? This is very interesting. I mean, in a different point,
Yeah,
the question.
it's a very good question, Morkan. Again, I can say that Sabancı University's mission is to disseminate knowledge. So we are lucky enough to have the resources to develop ourselves, but it is our responsibility to share what we learn here. And it's not only our development or our growth, but
Mm-hmm.
it is the growth of society. Aslıhan Dostan Ayse was here, but I don't know if she's still here. But as part of this, we share our knowledge everywhere. But teachers are also active in the projects to develop society. For example, we created English lessons for our students to give English classes to students in villages.
Oh, very
There's
nice. Mm-hmm.
Aslıhan Dostan Ayse, who lives in Switzerland, and she wrote a book called Cesur Kızlara Yol Arkadaşları. The aim of the book is to empower the girls, but getting the support of boys around them. So
Uh-huh.
there's no discrimination, but working together to achieve their aims. So we created English lessons with Merve Hocam, Merve Yıldırım, and Eylem Hoca. Now our students are teaching those kids, but Merve and I are teaching the primary school teachers. And
I see.
so 3 hours a week, we meet them. They are the most hardworking learners I've ever seen. They do all their homework, and they are always ready for the class. So that sort of thing is our responsibility, and I think Sabancı gave me that perspective. We are not here
I see.
only to
It's
train
wonderful.
our teachers.
Wonderful.
We are here to do something for the society in general. So SLTeDOL courses started with that aim as well,
As
sharing
well.
the
Of
opportunities
course.
we have with the
Of
rest
course.
of the world.
Definitely.
So could I
Mm-hmm.
answer your question?
Sure, of course. And also, by the way, you just mentioned again SLTeDOL, so it's kind of a, they provide something to the society. I'm not working at that Sabancı University, but I was lucky that I had a chance to attend it, and I get benefit from the course. That's something
Yeah.
related with us. That's really a great opportunity.
Thanks to Jacqueline Einer, our director. She always tries to create time for it. So these are extracurricular projects, and sometimes, during the pandemic, we needed all the time for our students. But whenever it is possible, she gives us time so that these projects. So we are lucky in that sense as
Wonderful,
well.
hocam. Okay, Nezaket hocam. And the time flies, by the way.
Yeah.
And now it's the last question of the session. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the last question is, what is your motto?
Okay. So it's again difficult to find one, but maybe I can say each person is unique and deserves a unique method to learn and to work together. So we
I
shouldn't
see.
forget the uniqueness of each student. So that's
Each
my
student, I see. That's your motto. Okay. Thank you very much, hocam.
thank
Thank you
you
very
so
much. That's all
much.
the questions about by my side actually. And before ending the live sessions, Nezaket hocam, would you like to add anything else?
No, it was wonderful to be with you. I think we should do this more often. It was nice to see the course participants here, some of my students, some of my friends, and I think we can just come together soon just to share our experiences. Thank you for asking these interesting questions, and it would be nice to ask them to you as well.
So wonderful. Great interaction, hocam. Thank you very much. Okay. And before ending it, I would like to thank you one more time for accepting my invitation and being with us and sharing your ideas and giving us suggestions about our questions, and especially the most important thing, you spend your time here with us. That was really precious. And Nezaket hocam, thank you very much. Really,
Thank you so much.
we are so happy.
It
And
was
the,
great pleasure. Yeah.
You're welcome. And Nezaket hocam was with us tonight in Teacher Talks, and we had a fruitful session with her. And we are going to be here next week on the same day at the same time, as you know that, every Monday at 9 p.m. according to Turkish time. Until the next time, and take care of yourselves, and wherever you are, and take care of yourself one more time, and peace everybody, and good night. Bye bye, Nezaket hocam. Thank you very much one more time. And see you
Bye-bye.
next time.
Thank you
Bye.
again. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Okay.